So we haven't touched on Tim Pool in a little moment, but that doesn't mean that he's not lurking in the shadows, crafting cringe, because that's exactly what he's been doing. So we all know about the Cuban crisis that's going on, and if you haven't heard about it, I highly implore you to look into it. Cuba's going through a lot of strife right now, internal turmoil, and thankfully we're talking about the U.S. embargo, and hopefully we can get that overturned. Hundreds of countries in the UN voted to have the US lift the embargo on Cuba. That's contributing to their suffering. Tim Pool and his gang of goons decided to have a little debate on it on his podcast, and Tim Pool came out with probably one of the dumbest possible takes I've ever heard on this topic to date, which is surprising because I listen to conservatives as a hobby. So with that being said, I want to bring this to you. You gotta be careful, okay? I aired myself out before this. If you have your cringe protectors, I would tell you to put them on like maximum overdrive, because boy is this going to be bad. Dim Tool decided to bring up not only the French Revolution and what Cubans are going through right now, and they're suffering with the amount of callousness that I was honestly surprised about. This is probably one of the shittiest possible takes. So that means we're diving headfirst into it, okay? Put your scuba gear on, because we're going deep.
There's a homeless guy outside, and he's like, "Let me sleep in your house." And I'm like, "No, you are causing my suffering. It is your fault." Then activists show up, and they're like, "The only reason this man is suffering is because Tim Pool won't let him in his house." It's like, no, the dude is responsible for his own shelter, man.
Classic argument. Because advocating for homeless people is literally just let them squat in your kitchen. Right, guys? I still never understand this take. The homeless person getting a house takes nothing from you at all. They're not in your house. The country isn't your house. That's not how that works. Having someone, it's the same argument that conservatives use when it comes to like immigration. Like, oh, you want immigrants to come into the country? Why don't you let the immigrants sleep in your basement? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? How's that analogous like at all? What's happening right now? What does this have to do anything with anyone's individual property? You could just allow them to come into the country and then buy their own property. If that's the case, whose basement are you in? I don't understand what any of this means, and I don't think he does either. Like this is one of the most poorly thought out conservative arguments, and that's saying a lot.
To a point, but the French Revolution.
No, literally to period.
Well, but if there's a monarch that's hoarding all the materials so that the people are starving and suffering, it is the monarch's fault.
Why?
Because he's by force keeping them from their stuff, or the stuff that their community has produced.
He's getting onto something. Ross Brand, Shaggy from Scooby-Doo is he's onto something. Okay, he's so close to having a good take. He's so close. It's wild. Trillionaire mindset? Wrong. Trillionaire grind set. Remember that. That's important. We're one step above the mindset. All right? You're responsible for like maintaining your own home. But if there's conditions outside of your control that prevent you from getting a home, that's not your fault. I'm sorry. If there's like predatory lending, if you're completely lied to, that's not your fault. You were lied to. That's why we have laws in place for false advertising fraud. You know, that's not fraud. That's false advertising. It's kind of also fraud. Theft. If someone's taking something from you, we have laws against that.
So can they like leave?
It depends.
I'm so angry. Look how smug he is. This dumb fuck. Look how smug he is. Look at his face. Look at his face, dude. They're like vassal states and completely poor and live on subsistence farming, and the monarch comes in and steals all of their shit. Have they ever thought about just leaving? Pain is flowing through my veins right now. All I feel, and this guy, he actually thinks, can they just leave? Just move. It's so easy to pick up your entire starving family and move them 300 miles into the woods. Oh yes. Sigma grind set, quadrillionaire, sextillionaire grind set going on here. Tim Pool, I swear, you are one of the dumbest people on this platform. I cannot possibly understand. Just move, bitch. Yeah, just move. How? Where? To the woods? How do you know those woods aren't controlled by another monarch? They're just gonna do the same exact thing. And just so you know, one of the big reasons for the French Revolution is food insecurity. The monarchs would set incredible, crazy laws on a lot of the subsistence farmers, take a massive portion of the food that they were working for and be horrible at doling it out. So people were like starving on the streets, and Tim Pool's like, can't you just take your starving, almost dead body and then just move into the woods? No, you can't. And why is it on the people suffering to just move and not the person causing the suffering to stop doing that? And if this is the case, then I don't know why Tim Pool's against like anything the government does. If that's the case, Tim, why don't you just move into the woods? You don't like the Democrats are doing. You don't like what the Democrats are doing with their communism or whatever. Just move into the woods, dumbass. Forehead. My bad, you don't have a forehead. It's covered by the fucking beanie. What's under there, Tim? Take off the beanie. What's under there, Tim?
It depends. I mean,
is the king going, you can't even leave?
That actually is a good question, because where are you going to go? Are you going to go west?
Right.
You go in the middle of the woods.
Oh yeah. I mean, that works with us.
My point is about Cuba.
The fuck? What the fuck is happening? Like this guy actually have you ever walked into like a Walmart and you see one of those moms with the like retractable fucking dog leash harness backpack on their kids? They like and they just have to like hold them as the kid just tries to squirm on the floor and shit, and they have to like drag them around the mall. You know, you ever seen that? That's what you have to do with Tim Pool when you're in a debate with him, because this guy literally just bounces from just random shit. Just bounces around. Nothing he says is connected at all. It's wild. This is like a SpongeBob tier argument, Tim.
We should take Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else.
That idea may just be crazy enough to get us all killed.
This guy's actually dumber than fucking Patrick from SpongeBob. And this is the guy that you get your political information from? This guy is actually like literally a SpongeBob bit. His politics are that bad. My point is about Cuba. Has Cuba ever decided to get a bunch of tugboats and tug their country somewhere else? Just move.
Yeah.
Cuba's food problem is Cuba's problem. Cuba's medicine problem is Cuba's problem. There is no obligation from any other country to give to them. There's home.
It's not even giving. It's not even giving. We're not talking about just freely giving Cuba things. We're talking about allowing them to buy things. They can't even buy. This doesn't even come to the point of giving. This is not charity. It's just allowing them into the store to start buying. And this guy is completely out of his mind. He's completely out of it. And the really funny thing is that he's so against like the French Revolution, but you know what revolution he was really for? The American. Listen to this.
It was people realizing that you don't just get to be in charge because you said you're in charge. Yeah. And that's what the American Revolution was. They're like, hey, wait a minute. Why is he king again?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, because God made him king. We don't have a king, and we're just fine.
No, we're going to rule ourselves and elect our own rulers and do this together.
What was amazing about it...
That's amazing.
It was...
It's like, it's almost like he has no consistent political grounding to anything he believes, and he floats like a jellyfish in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, just scooping up whatever detritus and garbage he can get his tendrils on, just whatever's most opportunist for him. That's it, and that's the base of all of his political discourse at all. It's so dumb. He's so stupid, and it's criminal that he has as many people thinking that he's smart enough to get their political interest from, to get their political takes from. It's just making the world like demonstrably worse. Every time Tim Pool opens his mouth for the 100,000 100,000, couple 100,000 people who watch him just makes it demonstrably worse in every single regard. This guy has no moral grounding. He has no political consistency. I don't even think he has a brain hidden under that beanie, double D looking head ass. I don't know why is he here? And then people come on and say, he's not a right winger. I don't care if he's left, right. He's a dumbass is what he is. No matter where he is. All of his talking points are right wing, but he's dumb as fuck. That's where he is. We'll put him on the dumb as hell category with the political spectrum. How does that work? Does that work out better for you? Get the fuck out of here, dude. Yeah, has Cuba ever considered not getting embargoed? Look, I hate my life, man. I hate it so much.